Hey, welcome back to Cedar Porch Homestead. I'm JR, and welcome to the end of our day. Now, if that sounds a little odd that we're beginning our video with the end of our day, let me just catch you up to speed. We had a lot going on today, and it was tough to take you guys along and show you every step of the way. We often do instructional videos on how to. Well, today it was let's get some stuff done day. So we started off with mowing, but we didn't start off with mowing. We had to start off with fixing the mower. We haven't been able to mow our yard in the last several weeks because of all the heavy rain. It finally dried out 2 days ago. I got on the mower, I got some mowed, and the belt fell off. So instead of fixing the belt the other night, it's mosquito season here in South Texas. I just didn't want to deal with the horde of mosquitoes eating me alive. So I just parked it, came back to it this morning. I was fresh, I was good. I got it fixed, we got everything greased up, I got out on it, I mowed it finally, and there's so much extra grass on the ground that I had to rake, which was fine because our chickens love when I take the grass clippings, put it in their chicken run behind me, because that goes into their deep litter. They spend time scratching through it to find all the bugs and all the fresh grass. And I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes as we speak, so we're gonna make this fast. Not only do we get to do that today, we had to move some comfrey. We got a flower bed kind of situated, and here we go. All right, so, because we need to figure out where we're gonna move this comfrey, because I made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake, it was a mistake. I learned.
Learning, yeah.
It's a learning process. So we have some comfrey, some Russian comfrey, which is important because comfrey is invasive.
Yes.
But Russian comfrey is not. It doesn't seed, but you can propagate it through root cuttings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have like 5 comfrey plants that I put in pots, and you're not supposed to put them in pots, but here they are. And you might look at them and say, man, those look pretty good. They're small, they're nice, but let me show you what comfrey is supposed to do. Like before, because what we're looking for is where we're gonna put these things, because we have to put them in the ground. And the reason you have to put them in the ground is because they root very deep. I did not realize this when we were looking, but we have several that we rooted or we put on the ground by our chicken coop, and this is what they turned into. We have 3-foot plants over my shoulder. They're giant, their leaves are huge. I can't kill them. We have tried the freeze this year. They completely went dormant, or they completely died, and they came back, and they're thriving, and they're awesome. And I'll show you one of the really awesome things about planting comfrey by your animals. So the leaves are really, really protein rich. Watch this.
Who are you giving it to?
Whoever wants it. Who wants it? Who wants it?
Yo, come around.
Let's go over here,
Silly
you
goat.
big dummies. Oh.
I don't want you left out. I don't know if the babies, any babies will take it. Here, babies.
They won't take it yet.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. All right. So not only do they feed our goats when we pull those leaves off, the chickens, as soon as it grows just a little bit into their coop, they pick it dry. So now we got to figure out where we're going to put this stuff. Courtney, any suggestions?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. Because it says it's supposed to be full sun, but we're in South Texas.
Right.
So full sun for us is like napalm in the summer.
Yeah.
So I think it's just gonna burn these plants like something fierce if we put them in direct full sun.
But we could also try it.
Yeah, worst case. I mean, we can't kill it. We've already tried. Let's just try to kill it again. So we're gonna look real quick and I'm gonna show you what we decide because we don't know what we're gonna decide yet. So we decided to put the comfrey on the front of the house where we don't have a flower bed. Now I've got a few things planted, but it is far from a manicured landscape. So I took our weed eater and tried to do a rough outline of where we kind of want that flower bed to be and what we kind of want it to look like. Typically, you would not think that an electric weed eater would do the job of what we have to do here, but I bought that DeWalt weed eater several years ago for Courtney when she was doing the majority of the yard work at the farm, and I just haven't had the heart to go and replace it with a gas powered. It does exactly what we need here. About 2 charges on that 5 amp hour battery and we can completely weed eat our entire yard. And it's strong. It's way stronger than what I would have thought. So if you're in the market for a weed eater for your backyard homestead or your backyard, your small lot, look into those DeWalt weed eaters. They're pretty good, especially if you're already bought into the DeWalt platform. Okay, moving on. I did not know how out of shape I was until I went to rake all that up that I weed eated, and I wanted to get those flower beds kind of cleaned up a little bit. So it wasn't too long into that. I felt myself very short of breath. Cardiovascularly, I'm in a bad place right now. I probably just need to remedy that, but we'll end up getting to it later.
We'll be hydrating with you here today, Captain.
So of course, just like everything else, if we've got waste in the yard, off to the chickens it goes. The chickens actually got a lot of bugs out of that and some fresh grass. They were happy, I was happy, and it's gonna go into our compost and create an awesome garden next year. So after my cardiovascular abilities were put to the test, I decided to slow down at the end of the day, and I went ahead and harvested some potatoes and got some seed potatoes back in the ground, which was awesome considering they were just potatoes that we were gonna throw in the trash anyways. All right, we let these little red potatoes go a little too long, but instead of throwing them in the trash, wasting them, feeding them to our animals, or even throwing them in the compost, we're gonna plant them. So I cut this one 2 days ago just to show you that it can callus, and that's one way of planting them, where you cut them up as seed potatoes and you let them callus. We're not going to do that for all of them. I just wanted to show that as an example, but we're just going to cut these up, and we're going to harvest some potatoes tonight too, because where these are going to go, I've got some potatoes that are already, I think, ready to go. So we're just going to take these and cut them up in some seed potatoes and throw them in the garden. Here is some potatoes from what I harvested 2 days ago, and that is from a potato that went a little long, became a seed potato, so we threw it in the garden. And if your windowsills don't look like this, are you really even trying? This is my youngest daughter, Ashlyn, and her obsession with these house plants. Oh, can you see that one? Let's see. There we go. Can you see her house plant? And she could tell you exactly what those things are called because I have no idea. Here at the back of the garden, I've got some potato plants that we're gonna see if they actually did anything. They've kind of wilted down. Got some weeds growing in there too, so I'm going to kind of clean this bed out, and then I'm going to take the seed potatoes that we just kind of made from our leftovers, and we're going to see what we got here and replant. So one of the things I always have to worry about when I do these is fire ants. Here in the south, it is almost impossible to keep them suckers out organically, so we try not to add any ant killer. I say we try. We don't add any ant killer or anything like that. I've got a couple of little organic tricks that I try, but they're not super successful. Fire ants seem to be one of those deals that they don't give a crap what you use. They're gonna move in when they wanna move in and move out when they're done. All right, let's see how many potatoes we can get out of this little pot. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice one. Some purples in there. Oh yeah. Some little baby ones. Well, some good potatoes there. Let me see. Now you just gotta dig around and see what you can find, because they'll go down pretty deep when you do them like this in a container, which this is the way I love doing these potatoes, because let's face it, your cost is way down. Because, well, one, seed potatoes are cheap. Two, whatever you don't eat, as soon as it creates eyes, well, you just throw it back in the back in a bucket, and they just keep on going. All right. Let's face it, if anything else is in there, it's just gonna make more potatoes. That's a few too many for this one bed, so we're gonna kind of thin that out a little bit. All right, all planted. So not too bad, considering that was just 2 potatoes that we let go a little long and didn't eat. So they sprouted, we got them in the garden and planted, and well, we got a bunch more potatoes out of them because we didn't throw them in the trash. We threw them in the garden. I've got a couple more containers that we probably need to harvest this week because they're starting to dry out with the warmer spring temperatures. I'm not ready to do that yet because I don't like to store them. We don't have a root cellar. We don't have an area that we can kind of store them. So really just storing them in the dirt's the best option we have right now. And we'll harvest them as we want to eat them. So probably next week, I'm going to harvest one. The following week, I'll harvest the other. And we'll have some potatoes for the next couple weeks. And well, if we don't eat them, we'll let them sprout. We'll stick them back out in the garden. I think one of the most exciting things about harvesting those potatoes is they are going to look amazing next to those grass-fed ribeyes I'm planning on having later this week. So as the day comes to a close, we had to run to Tractor Supply, get some hay, and I am ready to shut it down and enjoy my sparkling water. Because that's what I'm having.
He's not fooling anybody.
So we got several things done today, and we are planning a few projects in the future. I'll go ahead and let you know some of the projects we have on the docket. One, I have to make a movable chicken tractor for our grow out pen for the chicks that we have. That is also going to work for our meat birds that we're going to do later this year. But I have got to get on this milk shed next to me. It needs a lean-to, it needs a little bit more as far as containment, because We just checked our other female goat tonight. She is starting to show signs that delivery is going to be imminent. I don't think it's going to be in the next week. I'm hoping it's not going to be in the next week, but she's starting to bag up a little bit. Her udder's filling up. She's showing some signs that she is getting in those final stages. So I need to get a pen built. I also have a couple baby goats that we need to get on out, have a forever home somewhere else. But that is for another day, because tonight I'm going to unwind. I'm going to get out of these mosquitoes, and I am going to go have a wonderful night with the family. If you'd like to keep up with any of those things, make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you are notified when we come out with those videos. If you have any questions or comments, put them below. We love hearing from you guys, and we will see you on our next video.